Good morning. I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light. I'm also a Course in Miracles student and have been for the last 40 years. For the last several years, I have been going through the workbook every year, reading the lessons and asking Jesus to clarify them for me and to help me to see, how he wants me to use them this year. I love doing this because I love the lessons, which is funny because it took me forever to do the lessons. I was very resistant. But then once I did them, everything changed. And so I highly recommend doing the lessons as Jesus suggests. So today I'm going to be looking at lesson 327. And I'll read the lesson first, and then I'll share with you what came into my mind afterwards. I need but call, and you will answer me. I'm not asked to take salvation on the basis of an unsupported faith, for God has promised me he will hear my call and answer me himself. Let me but learn from my experience that this is true, and faith in him must surely come to me. This is the faith that will endure and take me farther and still farther on the road that leads to him. For thus I will be sure that he has not abandoned me and loves me still, awaiting but my call to give all the help I need to come to him. Father, I thank you that your promises will never fail in my experience, if I but test them out. Let me attempt, therefore, to try them and to judge them not. Your word is one with you. You give the means whereby conviction comes and surety of your abiding love is gained at last. You know, when I first started the course, I felt like I definitely was not answered every time, at least not all the time. Now that I've been doing this for a long time, I see that I was always answered according to what I would allow. I see that I used to ask for peace even when I was going to war. Though I didn't recognize it at the time, in retrospect, I see that I would ask for love, even as I attacked others. I would ask to be saved, and then I would turn away from what would save me. In order for me to receive salvation, it was necessary that I look with the Holy Spirit at what needed to be undone. Often, especially at first, I was unwilling to do that. I was too afraid of my own sins to look right at them. I was afraid for God to see them. So when I would ask to be healed, those ego thoughts would come into my mind, and instead of healing them, I would turn away from them. Or I would project them onto someone else. Looking at them was a way they would be undone, but I was too afraid to do that. But even so, I was heard, and the answer came as I was ready for it. It turns out the process was perfect. My heart called out for salvation, even as my confused mind refused the answer. But the answer waited for me. It waited for the mind to catch up with the new agenda. And each time I asked for help, I was instructing the mind that the answer was desired. Salvation does not require time, but I did. And I was given that time. And I'm so grateful. Now, when I ask the Holy Spirit what's next to be undone, I'm ready to own the problem. I understand now that this is what makes it possible for the Holy Spirit to correct my mind. I look without flinching at all the crazy beliefs in the mind. I know these ideas don't make me guilty, just confused. I gladly allow the emotions to rise up and pass through me because That shows me why I want to release the thought. If a thought causes me to lose a piece of God, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in it at all. I release it as quickly as I can. The whole thing is so simple. And if it feels hard, I know there's a false belief that has attracted me. And I give that belief to the Holy Spirit as well. There, it's done. So, no, not hard. Jesus says in another part of the course, nothing that is wholly desired is hard. So I just have to reach the point where I wholly desire healing. And just like that, the miracle occurs. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today and sharing this lesson with me. And I will see you tomorrow.